Well, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Serving Rams podcast. You know who it is. All right, look, excuse me. I know I've been gone for a while. I've been taking care of some family situations, and just been a little bit under the weather. But I'm back. This is obviously this just the end of the first game of the year for us. I originally wanted to do a review um, of the preseason and give a preview of um, of the 2025 season for us and just kind of give my thoughts and opinions on the new Rams uniforms with the rivalry jerseys and what we saw in the preseason. But let me just jump right into this. I really wasn't. I wasn't. I don't. Okay, look. I think it's the first game of the year, and I there was a whole lot that I didn't like, but there was some things that I did like. I think the this landman. Geez, that punch out at the end of it, right there in the fourth quarter was just uh, when you talk clutch, that was one of those clutch moments, and it was a moment that this team needed for us to secure this win. 14-9 doesn't obviously it doesn't scream, a great game, right? It was a you could say defensively, yeah, but I think there was just too many costly penalties that just didn't help our cause. The offensive line has got to do a better job. And I get, and I understand that the Texan defense is a really good defense. But I just think they got to do a better job of pass protecting, especially when you got a 37-year-old quarterback back there. Um, getting rid of that football like that. But overall, I thought it was an okay showing. Like I said, I thought we did some things pretty well. But obviously, there's some things we got to clean up. There's some things we got to fix. And you know, again, it's the first game of the year. We are playing the Texans. They do have a pretty good defense, a really good defense behind D'Amico Ryans over there. Uh, but there was a couple of drop balls right there by Devontae in the first quarter, and it's okay. Things like that are going to happen. But there's no big deal. Uh, Puka Nakua getting leaving the game bloody, and then obviously returning. And then, of course, we played, I would say, what, maybe about 50%, 75% of the game without Steve Avila, who ended up getting hurt, and Bo Limmer coming in to replace him. And then right before Steve Avila comes back, then you got Kevin Dotson getting hurt. And hopefully nothing is too bad on that part. But, defensively, especially in the secondary, we got to clean some things up. There's just too many boneheaded penalties that cost us team, you know, uh, extra possessions, and could have got this defense off the field a lot faster. Um, again, it's the first game of the year. These guys haven't played all preseason long, right? And we knew that coming in. Uh, did we expect the score to be 14-9? No, I wouldn't. I would say that no. I don't think any of us expected that low of a score. But you know, uh, we ended up walking out with the win. We secured a W, which is a great thing. Yeah, and especially when you consider that the last 2 years we've started off 1-1. But that's neither here nor there. But I look forward to the rest of the season for us. Uh, I think I think we got some. I think as the games move forward, and next week, obviously next week we got Tennessee, right? Um, I think on the road. So yeah, so I think with Tennessee coming up, it's a good chance to kind of go on the road and secure another win, because then uh, onto that comes Philadelphia. We already know what that game's going to be like. So like I said, it was a good win for us. I wouldn't say it's a solid win, but uh, yeah, man, I not too impressed, but just glad we got the win. We did some great things on defense, and yeah. You guys have to forgive me for all the ums and all the pauses and the breaks. I'm just trying to catch my words here. Again, I'm recovering, from being sick and all. So forgive me. Uh, I will give you my quick opinion real quick on the rivalry jerseys. And I personally like them. If, like I said, if you grew up in the Los Angeles area and you drive you drive down the 10, hitting the 110, and you look up and you see that skyline, you see how dark it is going blue. It's a beautiful scene. If you're driving down the 101 and you look and crossing that 110 and you see that same thing, it's like, okay, man, it's beautiful. If you're just driving down the 110, you see that skyline. If you're in the Echo Park area, or if you're in the Highland Park area, or maybe you're in the City Terrace, Boyle Heights areas, and you look at that sky, and it's black, it's blue going to black. That rivalry jersey is pretty much it just it shows you what what downtown Los Angeles is like at night, what Los Angeles is like at night. And I think it really captures Los Angeles. And I know there's people that don't like the jerseys. I personally do. I love them. I love what they stand for. I love what they mean. And to each their own. But I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these haters that likes to complain a lot. But um, back to this game, again, solid win. It was a good win. Excuse me, not solid, but it was a good win. We ended up getting a W. It was a pretty against a pretty good team in the Houston Texans, with a really, you know pretty good quarterback in Stroud, and of course you got DeMeco Ryans and Nico Collins over there on that side, and you know obviously they got Nick Chubb on that side as well. So uh, shout out to all my Rams fans out there that went to the game and held it down. Shout out to everybody that all my Ramley out there. Shout out to you guys. Let's take this game. Let's take this season one game at a time, and hopefully that leads to us being in the Super Bowl. Because I'm not one of these guys that does predictions and so on and so forth. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those guys. But uh, let's take this game. Let's take the season one game at a time. Um, and let's lock up some wins, and let's see if we can lock up a first seed, and maybe end the season on that podium holding up the Lombardi. So shout out to my Ramley. Shout out to all the supporters that have supported to the show. Again, I apologize for not having any previous episodes. Again, just taking care of some family situations, some family things, and just being under the weather. I wasn't able to produce an episode for you guys. But here I am, first game of the year, and I'm coming in, and I'll be doing this every week at the end of every game. And I may sprinkle in something before the games in the middle of the week, and so on and so forth. But for sure, after every game you will see a review coming from me, asking for my opinion, me voicing my opinion on the games that we're watching. So until then, horns up to all my Ramley, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.